Hi, hello, happy Sabbath and Shabbat Shalom. Something came along and knocked my plants over. Are we on Zoom? Okay, I'm glad. Anyhow, so most of the things in here seem to be doing alright. But something did in my potato plants. It's as if they froze. That's what it looks like. Looks like it got actually cold enough to freeze. Which could have been. And I see Gretel right through there. There's Gretel. See Gretel from in the greenhouse. Anyhow, nothing else in here seems to have been hurt by the freeze. But apparently that potato there got pretty toughed up. Now whether it's dead or not entirely, I don't know, because some of the stem, it's hard to tell if it's going to make it or not. Anyhow, most of the things in here seem to be doing alright, despite any little drop in temperature that we had. All the avocados over here seem to be close enough in that they're handling it alright. This thing, I don't know if it just looks wilty, I suppose. Although, that's dry. I need to water that. Mom won't water it enough. It's wilting. Yeah, unfortunately, she seems to have no sensibility about watering either too much or too little. So I gotta water some of the things that's supposedly on her watering agenda, because otherwise they'll die. My favorite spider plant that sat over here has up and disappeared. She says like she has no idea what I'm talking about, but it was up here, and it's in other videos. It's been there for a year, nearly, since she put it there, and now it's gone. No idea where it went off to. But anyhow, and it ain't over here, even though there was something here that's no longer there. So anyhow, some plants are doing great. Some plants have literally disappeared. Some of these plants over here seem to be doing fair at the moment. She's imported some more cacti. I didn't aim very long at that one, but it's slowly flowering, of course. Being as it's an old timer, it's been around long enough to, it's, I don't know, 30, 40 more years older. So let's go out to the outside world. Lots been going on this week. I just got my month's feed finally in. Nothing to consider phenomenal one way, because I do it every month, but that's 1,100 pounds of feed, so it's a bit of a job to haul. I think I mentioned already that I lost a baby last week. White oak died. I had cleaned up all the bush. And we had some wind come through here, and if you look, you notice there's a bunch of branches in here blowing down. Of course, the bags full of trash were blown open, or picked open by varmints. They weren't blown open by the wind. Let me get out here. So yeah, all the tree branches come crashing down all over the place. We had, I don't know, gusts up to 45, 50 miles an hour. Nothing severe, but enough that the dead branches, there's other branches falling down too. Of course, that over there is the mower guy. That wasn't the wind, that was the mower. So, that's why it's all green. And there are some branches down in that field there, but I just didn't feel like going all the way around there to point to them. Up here, there's a half a tree blown down. That one's one I pulled down because it was going to blow down. I didn't want to blow it down on the road. That blew down right there. a lot of the dead wood was blown down, whereas the green wood was mown down. So blowed and mowed, blown and mown. Yeah, anyhow, yeah, whatever. Words. I'm getting tired already. I'm really tired because I've been working hard this week. And other than that 1,100 pounds of feed, that isn't all I've done. I got that roof tin back up on there, but I still haven't shot it down with some screws. It's still just sitting there, the ladder's holding it on. So this right here, other than the cedar branch, there was a tree right there. And all that came down here, and I picked all that up and threw it on the back of the truck except the main log, and I dragged it down to the bottom land where I've got a couple other branches. Speaking of dragging things to the truck, I finally got all the parts I needed to temporarily patch the exhaust system back together until I get over to the exhaust specialist to get the pipe put back in. It doesn't sound much different, or at least the smoke coming out of it isn't coming out underneath the cab. So instead of sitting in the middle of the driveway up on the jack and stands, it's now I got stuff on it because I went over to one of my fellow farms, and they had a bunch of stuff to haul off that I went and carried away for them. The refrigerator, vertical freezer, that's just the pallet from the feed. I just left it there because I wanted to see if the birds would eat the seed off of it. So several pieces of 14-foot sheet metal, some shorter pieces of sheet metal, some kind of old cabinet that's beat up at the bottom but still has some integrity to it. And these, we've decided what we're going to do with all these excess refrigerators is we're going to use them for garden plots down here. We're going to use them for raised bed gardening. Didn't notice there was a bag over there. Wonder where that came from. It probably came from over here. Yeah, I bet that's what happened. The wind blew that, like it blew this off the hill. That was up higher. And that was up higher. So a lot of things got blown off the side of the hill here. Yeah. So little bits of more wind-strewn stuff here and there. I'm sure there's other branches, other places that have fallen off if I look. But, yeah, they fall off all the time anyhow. Oh! That ivy vine got blown off. It was a little loose to start with. But now it's completely... it got ripped clean off the tree. Broke off at the ground even. Now I'll just have to drag that in for the babies because they love ivy. That was up here. I thought this thing looked a little barren. And I look at it, it's like, well, of course, that ivy vine got ripped clean off the tree by this wind. Okay, well, it'll get fed to the babies then. They won't complain. I heard other things clattering and crashing around out here because I was actually out during some of the blowing and throwing. But I didn't see all of it. So it's hard to say how much of what got branches blown off the upper trees and stuff. I'm just tripping over them. So I got to unload that tomorrow and set up with those other ones for gardening. Over here, from doing some of my cleaning, now when I had to destroy the baby body, of course I cleaned up a whole bunch of old wood that I had over here, so that's all burned out clean. But I've also been burning trash in here too, because it's part of it. I think I showed this last week, was the all these batteries I hauled out. That was a job. I needed them out of there off the floor and figure out where I'm going to put them while I make a big super battery out of them. Some people say, well, the dead batteries, what are you going to do? Well, I can revitalize a dead battery. That ain't no problem. So I've got them out. So all those hangers over there, hundreds of them, thousands of them, I don't know, hundreds anyway, came out of there, and that turns out that wasn't even all of them. That tank was in the back of the shop, and I'll have to, eventually it's supposed to go up to the well pump, and that'll be emergency fuel reserve in case the power goes out. Here's my little sign here. And private property not for hire, no parcels, no visitors, no soliciting, go away, no FedEx or UPS. That's because recently a FedEx driver started dropping stuff off for a neighbor, and well, it's for the neighbor, not for me. I called one company because I could reach them, and they had the lady pick up her stuff, and then the next day another object came from somewhere else and was right out here. And so I called, they tried to call the company, nobody answered. There was no phone number and everything. It was like like a non-existent company. So I called FedEx, and boy, it took a while to learn the cheat code to get into FedEx to get to talk to people. Say, hey, look, come get this thing. So I left it up on the front of my Ford truck so that they would come get it. I put, check your addresses, verify your addresses before delivery. And I even use polite wording too. So in here, I've been rooting through here. May or may not be evident how much you can see now is all this sheet metal. It's been buried back there forever. I mean, right down to where my foot is, there was stuff piled up here that's all back in there. And then, now that cardboard, I was going to throw it away, and then I realized I can use it for insulation on the dry side of my western facing garage for my greenhouse attachment. So I'm going to instead take all that and stick it to the wall for insulation. That's going to go into my buildings. That cardboard will go into my insulation. There's some boards in there that'll become shelves. All that sheetrock will be ground up and used in gardening. And you see, that's where that one plastic tank was. This tank will come out. All this area, I'm going to open it all up. There's going to be a lot of room in here when I get it all made up, but then I'm going to be doing stuff in here, hopefully. Like I said, eventually I want a recording studio in here. I want a shower and laundry room back in there, and then I want a big old huge freezer, refrigerator rig all along in here. And then right down the middle, be processing, and then probably I'll dig a basement in here and do other things. But anyhow, so a little at a time, I've been moving tons and tons of stuff. My back's been hurting me. Of course, I got spinal arthritis, so no surprise there. But when some people say they move tons of stuff, they only mean it figuratively, or they're using a machine. Whereas I haul tons of stuff literally without any machine but myself. I am the machine. So that's one reason I've been able to, since I've got that surgery, I've been able to do so much. Relatively little period of time for being almost 60 years old. Hopefully by the time I am 60, I'll look like I'm 20. I doubt it. Especially since all my teeth ain't going to grow back. Anyhow, so I got some sheet metal there, and sheet metal in the house, and I got roofs of barns to build and stuff, so it's all going to get used. It won't any of it go to waste, I assure you. But, so, and I still got to get that place finished up so that I can get the new buck in, and quarantined and long enough to get everything up. I've got other stuff to do that I'll be videoing and stuff over there on the other side. But for now, that's like I say, we had a little wind, I did a little work, and that's about the long and short of it. So, hope you have the rest of your Sabbath day happy and blessed, and then a good, prosperous week, and we'll see you next report. Bye for now, and shalom.